Good evening. Welcome to the Township of Abington's Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, February the 9th, 2017. And may I have a roll call, please?
Here.
Spiegelman. Sanchez.
Here.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Markman.
Here.
Schreiber.
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
Placido.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Gillespie.
Here.
Pepper.
Here.
Kalinowski.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Luker.
Here. Would everyone please stand for a pledge of allegiance? Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Stephen Kalinowski, who will make a presentation.
Charlie, would you like to come up? Charlie Roy, everybody. Ward 6 resident, long time. Great guy of Abington. Charlie's been a 44-year worker at Abington Township. His positions held were Public Works in 1973, Landscape Gardener in 1975, Assistant Foreman in 1988, and then a foreman from 1990 to 2017. Charlie is a 45-year service firefighter. He was a fire chief for 18 years, October 91 through October 2009. He is currently an active firefighter at Edge Hill Fire Company and a member of the board of directors. His hobbies are classic cars, and I think we've all seen Charlie at a few car shows before. So I'd like to thank you as a commissioner, and from the Board of Commissioners, we offer you a gift here and appreciate it. Would you like to show your family and say a little?
My wife, who most of you people know, Susan, and my daughter, Rebecca. Yeah, I'd just like to thank Doug, Andy, and Ed Michelow for all the help through the years, and wish everybody good luck.
Good luck, Charlie, and thank you, Commissioner Kalinowski. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Carol Gillespie, who will also make a presentation.
Okay, Doug. Doug's been with us for 38 years. Started as a program leader. Park guard? I didn't know that. Oh, wow, good for you. Okay, director of Ardsley Community Center, recreation superintendent, and Parks and Recreation director, which you've done an excellent job. Thank you, Doug. PAL vice president, how about that? 24-hour co-director of the 24-hour relay. Twice, okay. Okay, Jimmy Leary. Pennsylvania Recreation and Parks Society, how do you say it? PRPS, 28 years. Various positions that you held were Society Secretary for 6 years, District 3 President, District 3 Treasurer, District 3 Executive Committee for 12 years. Your hobbies are photography, bicycling, outdoor sports, scuba diving. Good for you. And I have to say, congratulations on all of this, but one of the things that's most memorable to me is that you brought Mike home after all the meetings, and I really never forgot it. Thank you. For those that don't know, my husband Mike was commissioner for 18 years, and the last 6 months he did come to every meeting, and I got him here, but Doug made sure they got home, and I really appreciate it. And I almost forgot, most important thing, your gift. Want to introduce your family?
Well, this was a pretty good kept secret because on all the agendas, this was never listed until tonight. So when I came in and I saw a bunch of people here, I thought somebody must have said something, but I think they were here for Charlie. And really what I have to say, Mary Ann's at home probably, she'll be watching this. She's one of those people that will watch every single one of these from the committee meeting all the way up. And so, hi, Mary Ann. She'll love that. But as Charlie said, really, to be successful, you really need a lot of good people underneath you. And Charlie was one of the best, as our maintenance guys are. They take care of 500 acres of parks with, a lot of demands. And my office staff, of which Terry's here tonight, and Jess down at the park, and Melissa, they keep me organized because sometimes I am just not that way. So, and Andy, the new director, is sitting in the back there, Andy Oles. He'll be an excellent asset to the township. He's been a great asset for me from the day he started. So I think you're in good hands, and I leave with a lot of good memories, and I appreciate the opportunity of having a career here. It started a long time ago. I have to thank my brother, Barry Bernard. He's the one that suggested that I be hired to sue Rintz, Forster, King, Cannon, and it was Rintz then. But anyway, he was the one that suggested I get here and go Temple, and that was where I started from. And look here, 38 years. It's a great place to work. If it wasn't, you wouldn't have all these people like Charlie and the people you see sitting up here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Gillespie, and Doug, best wishes to you, and thank you for everything.
Thank you, Mr. President.
At this time, we're honored to have in our presence the Honorable Risa Vetri Furman. And would you please come forward? I'd like to announce Honorable Risa Vetri Furman will now be swearing in our new police chief, John A. Livingood. Thank you.
Right before that, I'm honored to be able to give some information, some history of our new Chief of Police, John A. Livingood. Chief Livingood is a graduate of Jenkintown High School. He earned a B.S. in Criminal Justice Administration from Philadelphia University and also is a graduate of Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command. Prior to beginning his law enforcement career, he served his country during the Vietnam War in the U.S. Navy. John joined the Abington Police Department in 1972, serving as a patrol officer until 1981, when he advanced to sergeant. A year later, he was assigned to the Detective Division as a detective sergeant and assumed the division's command in 1985. In 1987, he achieved the rank of lieutenant, and in 1990, he was named the Abington Police Department's first deputy chief of police. For the next 9 years, he was put in command of the administrative division, returning to the detective division in 1999, again as its commander, a position he held until this year. Chief Livingood's specialty, for which he is known nationally, is crimes against the elderly committed by transient criminals and intelligence sharing. He is also known widely for his leadership in McLaughlin, a regional information sharing organization that assists federal, state, and local agencies in their efforts to stop crime. John has lived in Abington Township for almost 50 years, and for 44 of those years, he has served its citizens as a sworn officer. At this time, I would like the Honorable Risa Vetri Furman to swear in Chief Livingood as Abington's 10th Chief of Police.
Commissioner, won't you just indulge me a moment to make a very brief
Absolutely.
remark? I'm here wearing a robe in my judicial capacity, but how I truly know Chief Livingood is in my role previously as the district attorney, and for a very long time as an assistant district attorney. And having worked with this man for quite a few years, thank you. He's still older, but for many years, I can tell you that of all of the law enforcement officers I have worked with over many years and learned so much from, Chief Livingood stands out. He has just been a superstar. He is a man of such unquestioned integrity, humility, honor, intelligence, has impeccable judgment. And so much of what I learned that brought me to the place that I am now has come from him. And you all know that I'm a very proud Abington resident, not for 50 years, but for pretty close to that. And so I spent a good deal of my time here. And he was one of those people that no matter what the problem I was facing, I always knew that if I called John Livingood, I would get sound counsel, really wonderful advice, and a good direction to help me solve the problems that were in front of me. So for me, it is just an extraordinary honor to be able to swear you in as the Chief of Police of Abington Township, our home community.
Thank you, Your
Yes. Let's switch you. Put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Got it? Okay. Please repeat after me. I, John Livingood,
I, John Livingood,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Township of Abington,
and the Township of Abington,
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Chief of Police for Abington Township,
as Chief of Police for Abington Township,
and will obey the rules and regulations,
and will obey the rules and regulations,
policies and procedures
policies and procedures
governing all sworn members
governing all sworn members
of the Abington Township Police Department.
of the Abington Township Police Department.
Congratulations, Chief.
Let me just introduce my family for a moment, if I might. Mary Jane, my wife. I have my two favorite granddaughters here tonight. That's Nora and Mary. My son John, sitting next to the judge. My daughter Trish. My daughter-in-law Rose. My daughter-in-law Carol. And I have a lot of other relatives and all the other seats behind here, and friends, and my colleagues from other departments. And I thank you all for coming. It's very much appreciated. If I could just take a minute, Your Honor. Mr. President, rather. President Luker and members of the Board of Commissioners, it is an honor and a privilege to be appointed as the 10th Chief of Police of Abington Township Police Department. A little over 31 years ago, Bill Kelly became Chief of Police in Abington in a difficult period in our department's history and created a new culture here. He introduced us to a whole new way of doing police work, and has certainly left our department a much better place than he found it. His positive influence on us and our department will last for years to come, and we will be forever grateful for all that Chief Bill Kelly has done for Abington Police. Going forward, I intend to fully support the initiatives and strategies, almost all of which were developed and nurtured under Chief Kelly's administration, including, of course, PAL, CAPT, the YAP, the HUB, the DARE program, the Abington Community Task Force. So many of these things he was involved with, and it is my goal and my intention to continue to support those in the same way that Chief Kelly did. These programs have been very important to our department and the citizens we serve, and I believe they are one of the reasons that Abington is such a special place. At the same time, I will not allow us to lose focus on our primary mission, which is to serve and protect. We have recently experienced a slight uptick in serious crime, which is a concern we will closely monitor, along with the opioid epidemic, which of course is sweeping this nation and has claimed so many young lives. One initiative of my administration will be to continue the excellent relationship we have with our citizens. I think that's a hallmark of the Abington Police Department, and I will absolutely continue that. Okay. I believe it is important for us to keep the lines of communication open between us and the citizens we serve, and intend to use the news media as well as leveraging social media to do so. We have on our police department website a way that citizens can sign up, and anything new that's posted there, they will be alerted to it. At the same time, it will be posted on Twitter and on our Facebook page. These are a number of enhancements and improvements that we have already made to our communications capabilities, but I think we can do more, and we will do more. I can also tell you that the future for our police department is very bright. We have excellent supervisors and police administrators who are well-trained, experienced, and very capable and prepared to step in and fill the top spots in our department if given that opportunity. To them, and to all the brave, dedicated, and hardworking men and women who make our department so great, it is my honor to serve with you, and I look forward to the year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Livingood, and thank you, Honorable Lisa Furman. We're going to take a 2-minute recess. I'd like to resume our agenda at this time. At this time, we have an appointment to the Library Board of Trustees, and I have a motion to appoint Thomas F. True to the Library Board of Trustees for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2019, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners or staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. At this time, I'd like to call on Vice President Stephen Klein for approval of the minutes.
Thank you, President Luker. I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the Board of Commissioners meeting of January 12th, 2017, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. At this time, we're going to reverse a couple of our committee items, agendas. Okay. Are there any comments? I apologize, I was moving a little fast here. Are there any public comments at this time on agenda items?
Laura Lehman,
Yes.
1431 Bryant Lane. Do you know how many agenda items there are?
Exactly how many?
Yeah. Anybody know?
What's the point of the question?
Do you know how many there are?
Why do you?
It's a fairly extensive agenda, right?
So,
Go ahead.
So
Your
which one
point?
do you have a
Would
comment
you guess
about?
20, 30?
That's brilliant.
What's your point, Ms. Fleeman?
You have 3 minutes as a resident to
we've
address
we've
all
litigated
of these
this.
items. It's not sufficient.
Next.
And we worked very hard to get it so that before any vote was taken, and after a committee meeting is the time for residents to do their research and bring further comments or further information to the board. So this many agenda items, 3 minutes is not in any way sufficient for residents to have comment on the items on the agenda.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from the public? All right, and if there are none, we're going to take our Code Enforcement Land Development Committee first, and at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Ben Sanchez, Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, we have CE1, Public Hearing, Liquor License Transfer Number R18487, Resolution Number 17 007 Giant Food Stores LLC, 737 Huntington Pike. And as this is a motion to adopt Resolution Number 17007, authorizing the Giant Food Store at 737 Huntington Pike to transfer an existing restaurant liquor license number R18487 from outside of Abington Township. And I so move, and I will turn it back to you, Mr. President, for the public hearing.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanchez. At this time, I'd like to open the meeting, the public hearing for CE1 liquor license transfer, and at this time, I'd like to call on Solicitor Michael Clark.
Thank you, Commissioner Luker. This is a public hearing for liquor license transfer application to transfer a restaurant liquor license number R-18487 from the municipality of Pottstown Borough, Montgomery County, into Abington Township. The applicant is Giant Food Stores, LLC. The property which is the subject of this hearing is for the intermunicipal transfer of a liquor license is 737 Huntington Pike, Huntington Valley, Abington Township. The hearing is being held for the purpose of receiving comments and recommendations of interested individuals residing within the municipality concerning the applicant's intent to transfer a liquor license into the municipality of Abington Township. This application, which was submitted by Robert J. O'Hara III, Esquire, of Flaherty, O'Hara, was received by the Township on December 16, 2016. The Pennsylvania Liquor Code requires that the Township render a decision within 45 days of the submission of a complete application, or in the alternative, within an additional 60 days at the Township's election, with written notice to the applicant, as was the case tonight. By letter dated January 12, 2017, my office notified the applicant's attorney of the Township's intent to exercise the statutory 60-day extension. We have reviewed and found the application to be substantially complete. The Pennsylvania Liquor Code sets forth certain mandatory provisions with respect to processing applications for intermunicipal transfers of liquor license. Section 4-461B3 of the Liquor Code provides that an intermunicipal transfer of a license must first be approved by the governing body of the receiving municipality when the total number of existing restaurant liquor licenses and eating place retail dispenser licenses in the receiving municipality equals or exceeds one license per 3,000 inhabitants. We have contacted the Quota Department of the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board. They have confirmed that Abington Township has in excess of one license per 3,000 residents. Section 4-461B3 further states that upon request for an intermunicipal transfer, at least one public hearing shall be held by the municipal governing body for the purpose of receiving comments and recommendations of interested individuals residing within the municipality concerning the applicant's intent to transfer a license into the municipality. Accordingly, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board may not approve a new license unless the township first holds a public hearing and approves the intermunicipal transfer application. The township is required to render its decision by resolution or ordinance, and we have provided for the board this evening a copy of a resolution approving the transfer and a copy of a resolution denying the transfer. The application has been advertised consistent with the Liquor Code on January 26, 2017 and February 2, 2017. In addition, the township has provided public notice of tonight's hearing consistent with the requirements of the Liquor Code. The applicant is represented this evening by Robert J. O'Hara III, Esquire. Mr. O'Hara, if you'll please come forward.
Well, I'm not Mr. O'Hara, but I am from Flaherty and O'Hara.
Okay.
My name is Ellen Freeman, and I am in the Philadelphia office of Flaherty and O'Hara, so I will be representing the applicant this evening.
Ms. Freeman, you'll now have the opportunity to present the application, any information, any evidence you would like, and any testimony you would like, and then make yourself available and any of your witnesses here this evening available for questions from the Board of Commissioners and from any members of the public that request and are granted party status during this hearing. Do you understand the process, Ms. Freeman?
I do.
Ms. Freeman, have you previously marked any exhibits that you plan on submitting this evening?
I do have one exhibit this evening. I haven't marked it, but it can just be applicant's Exhibit 1. It's a floor plan of the proposed restaurant, and I do apologize. I don't know that I have copies for everybody, but I will provide You with the coffee and your president.
You can give him all of them.
Oh, that works
Thank you.
as well.
Thank you.
And Ms. Freeman, you may now proceed with presenting your case.
Great, thank you very much. As I mentioned, my name is Ellen Freeman. I'm with the law firm Flaherty and O'Hara, and tonight I am here on behalf of the applicant Giant Food Stores LLC. Also with me tonight is Josh Erb. He is the manager of special projects at Giant Food Stores, and a little later on in my presentation, I'm going to have him come forward and answer a few questions regarding Giant's operations and safety policies. We are here tonight to request that Abington Township issue a resolution approving the intermunicipal transfer of a restaurant liquor license from outside the township to within it pursuant to revised liquor code Title 47, Section 461B3. The restaurant liquor license would be transferred to Giant Food Stores for use at its property, the new restaurant located within the existing grocery store at 737 Huntington Pike. Your solicitor went through the liquor code, I think, pretty efficiently, but just to reiterate, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board is permitted to transfer a license from any municipality within Montgomery County to another municipality within Montgomery County, so long as you, the receiving municipality, issues a resolution approving that transfer. The standard to be applied tonight by the Board of Commissioners is contained in Section 7.61 of the Liquor Control Board's regulations, which states that the receiving municipality shall approve the transfer unless that doing so would adversely affect the health, welfare, peace, or morals of the municipality. To give you a little background information about Giant Food Stores and their intentions, I wanted to let you know about the remodeling, the section of their already existing grocery store. This will include a beer garden and eatery with seating for up to 30 patrons. The cafe will feature a wide selection of prepared foods, as well as made-to-go sandwiches, made-to-go salads. There will be a salad bar, pizza, soup, a wide variety of food. And as an added component to this cafe, and as a convenience for its customers, Giant is requesting the transfer of a restaurant liquor license in order to permit the sale of beer for on-premises consumption, as well as the sale of beer and wine to go as a result of the passage of Act 39 of 2016. What we are requesting this evening is nothing new or unusual in Pennsylvania. In fact, over the past 10 years, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board has approved liquor licenses in over 350 grocery store restaurants. Giant already operates 33 beer garden and eateries inside its Pennsylvania grocery stores. As you can see on the floor plans in front of you, it's not the entire grocery store, but if you can imagine, it is the front left of the grocery store building. It's indicated by the shaded area. The hours of operation will be from Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. There will be a dedicated restaurant manager who will receive the Bureau of Liquor Control Enforcement's developed Responsible Alcohol Management Program manager training, otherwise known as RAMP. All cafe associates will also receive the RAMP server training. It is Giant's policy that everyone will be carded if they wish to purchase alcohol. They have a 100% carding policy. Giant will offer single servings of beer for on-premises consumption and up to 192 fluid ounces, which is roughly 2 six-packs, and up to 4 bottles of wine for takeout. Giant has a self-imposed 2-beer limit for on-premises consumption. In addition to the 2-beer limit, Giant's policy is that a customer who wishes to purchase beer for on-premises consumption must also order a food item to eat in the cafe. All beer and wine purchases must be made at the cafe cash registers. The other store cash registers will not accept the beer SKUs and the wine SKUs. So even if a customer was able to grab a 6-pack from the cafe and make their way to another grocery store cash register, that cash register would not be able to scan that beer or wine, and the Giant employee will be trained to send them back to the cafe cash registers where they can complete their sale. In the cafe, there will be security cameras that cover the cafe area, as well as the designated cafe cash register. And in addition, the cafe associates and the manager will physically monitor the cafe area. There will be no entertainment, no video games, no TVs, no pool tables, no smoking, and there will be no sales of distilled spirits of any kind. It will, however, be a well-lit and safe and secure place for customers who can come and purchase prepared food and a 6-pack of beer and a bottle of wine to go. Giant is a responsible owner that is making a significant investment that will be protected by responsible management and well-trained employees. And at this time, I'm going to have Josh Erb come up and answer a few questions about the operations of the restaurant and, most importantly, the safety policies that are in place. Josh, please state your name and title.
Josh Erb, Manager of Special Projects for Giant Food Stores.
He'll need to be sworn. Yeah.
I do. Yes.
Could you tell the Board of Supervisors or give them an idea of when this project is set to go under construction and approximately how long it takes for the construction to be complete?
Yes, it's going to be about a 6-week project and would begin the fall of 2017.
Can you explain to the Board of Commissioners how the restaurant, the cafe, will be separated from the already existing grocery store per the LCB regulations?
Yes, per PLCB regulations, the licensed premises must be marked with a series of permanent fixtures and/or bollards that are 4 feet high, minimum of 4 feet high, and no further than 10 feet apart to delineate the licensed premises.
And can you explain Giant's policies?
I know you're loud. Make sure you use the microphone or you're speaking.
Oh, absolutely, sure. Can you explain to the Board of Commissioners, thank you. Can you explain to the Board of Commissioners how the cafe will be locked up while the cafe is closed but the grocery store is still open?
Yes, so as Ellen stated, our hours of operation do not coincide with the hours for the total grocery store, so the Beer Garden and Eatery will close at 10 p.m. So to safeguard and restrict access to the beer and wine, the cold doors for each one of the cold doors have an individual lock on it, and we will rope off the area and sign the area closed at 10 p.m.
Can you go through Giant's carding policy?
Yes, 100% carding policy. We feel it's the most effective way. It takes any gray out of the equation, puts our associates in a position not to have to make a judgment call. So simply stated, we card everyone. The carding policy, we use an ID card reader in which the associate would scan the driver's license, and it will help detect a fraudulent driver's license as well as state the consumer's age. Step 2 of that process is to enter the birth date into the POS system. Without entering a birth date into the POS system, a product will not scan. And then we leverage our relationship with the PLCB trainers to the old-fashioned feel and examine method of detecting fake IDs as well.
And all of these safety policies that you will have in place at this restaurant, are those the same safety policies that you have in place at the other 33 Giant locations that operate under a liquor license?
Yes, we have the same policies across all 33.
And have any of those other 33 stores ever been cited by the Liquor Control Enforcement Bureau for any sales to minors, sales to visibly intoxicated persons, or any violation of the liquor code?
No, we have a spotless record. We're extremely proud of our record. We have no citations.
Great. And with that, I'll turn it back over to your solicitor if the Board of Commissioners have any questions.
That would be what would be appropriate at this moment, if any of the commissioners have any questions for Mr. Erb.
So how do you limit the 2 beer per customer on premises consumption?
I'm looking at the...
Yeah, so our policy is the 2 beer maximum with a meal, and we spend a lot of time training around that, aware of the environment. First and foremost, the overwhelming majority of our sales are a takeout business, but we do allow for on-premises consumption. So a lot of time spent training of the awareness of the facility, and if someone is consuming a beer on site, that we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware who's with them. Are they by themselves? Or is it a parent with a child? Just being very diligent to know that environment.
Commissioner Ralphin.
I'm not sure if I heard you correctly earlier. Is there a specific manager in charge of that area at all times?
Yes, there is. The owner-manager of the facility is registered with the PLCB, the Liquor Control Board, as the owner-manager of the facility. So their sole function is managing the licensed premises.
When you say owner-manager, can you explain to me what that means? I mean, I'm assuming it doesn't mean that one individual owns that restaurant portion of the store, or maybe...
Yeah, correct. The PLCB refers to that individual as the owner-manager.
Okay.
For our purposes, it's the manager of the beer garden and eatery.
And is there, I mean, I probably know the answer, but maybe you can explain, if someone has been drinking, let's say, at a different location, and comes in and might want 2 more beers, maybe they got kicked out somewhere else, how is staff, I'm assuming, is trained on spotting this kind of thing, but is there an extra, let's call it a security measure or security force that might help someone that's unruly, coming in and then is told that they're not going to be served any further?
Yeah, so you're correct in stating the training to spot someone that's visibly intoxicated. And first and foremost, we would not serve someone that's visibly intoxicated. So if they come in, again, our associates, we don't want to have in a position of confronting a customer, and should that situation escalate, like they would elsewhere in the store, they're going to get a salaried manager, the store manager, or a member of their team involved. And if it continues to escalate, at that point, then we would have to get police involvement. But if they see anything out of the ordinary, whether someone is refused service or maybe they just come in and they're kind of stumbling about, number one, we have security cameras installed as part of the remodel to comprehensively cover the licensed premises, and then also incident documentation form. We spend expansive time in the training process kind of guiding what should be documented, what types of scenarios you would want to document, and then we keep that documentation for 2 years.
And then following up on that, you mentioned that there'd be potentially the need for a store manager or other staff to come in and help address the scenario of removing someone if that was the determination. I don't want to assume, but I'm going to assume that those individuals would all be trained or maybe are already trained on how to handle situations like that where someone may be intoxicated or unruly, et cetera?
Yeah, that's correct. So the entire management staff will be ramp trained. Our licensed restaurant will be ramp certified, as well as all of the individuals, not just the manager of the facility, but all of the individuals, whether they work 40 hours a week in the licensed restaurant or they work 5 hours a week, would go through the training.
I think that's all I have right now, but thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Spiegelman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Erb, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm sort of interpreting the floor plan correctly. So when customers come in, they're going to be going, just like a normal prepared foods area, they're going to be going, selecting their prepared foods from whichever station they wish, and if they choose, going to the beer area and getting beer, and then sitting down at the tables. There's no wait staff or anything like that.
That's correct. There's no wait staff. It's a self-service model.
Right. So really, I mean, it's just like a normal giant prepared foods area, but with more tables, and obviously with all the accoutrement for beer service and take-home beer and wine.
Yeah, that's correct. As many of you may know, the store, being a former Gennardi's, had a nice prepared foods model. I'm not sure what you said. In terms of how it was laid out. So the work we have to do to the prepared food side, I'll call it, is much less in that format as opposed to maybe some of our other traditional Giants.
Great. All right, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Commissioner Kalinowski.
Where is the closest, I guess, Giant that has this?
Our Willow Grove store.
Willow Grove has it where you can sit in and eat?
Yes.
Do you have any concerns there? Because you just said there's no waitress service. Like, say if a 22-year-old came in with a 17-year-old, they sat, drank, ate, and I guess that would be my only concern is, and I'm sure you're trained at that because it's ramp training. I understand that completely.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
We share that concern. To use that scenario, a 22-year-old and a 17-year-old, we would not serve them. You have to be
both of age.
25 is the age of proper supervision for a minor. So we would card everybody at the table and refuse service.
Okay, so you do card at the table, because the way I understood, you go up, get your food, get your beverage, and then purchase it, and then sit down. So I was just a little concerned about how that was going to go down.
So to back up the transaction even further, the 22-year-old and the 17-year-old go to check out and buy the six-pack of beer or a bottle of wine. Everybody in that scenario would be ID'd.
Do you find it successful at Willow Grove? Why I guess I'm asking the question is, a lot of times all of us go into a grocery store and it's convenient to grab, beer or whatever. Why one-stop shopping, let's say. Do you find this a successful venture?
We do.
You do?
Yeah, we do. It's really becoming more and more of an amenity, just like a seafood department or a floral department in a lot of markets. So the ability to offer that convenience and that amenity is something that has been well received from our consumers.
And I guess my other only concern would be the manager through ramp training. He wouldn't be the manager of the store. He's the manager of that department, like beverage.
Correct. Okay. Correct. Per the PLCB, they cannot have another responsibility outside of the licensed premises.
All right. I find that interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments from commissioners? Commissioner Clyde.
You may have said this and I may have missed it. I assume patrons aren't allowed to drink while they're shopping?
No. No.
They'll have to stay within that shaded portion. That's the only portion that will be licensed. So essentially, if they take that off, then they're drinking in public and can be cited for that.
Okay. It almost got me to go shopping.
Any other comments from commissioners? Commissioner Farron.
Thank you, President Luker. Just a question. Do you have plans to continue this through all of the Giants, or just capacity size-wise, or what's the...
Yeah, it's got to be the right fit. I mean, we try to understand, first and foremost, the demographic of the store. Does it have potential to do well with this amenity? Once we kind of get past that, then it becomes a format issue. Will it fit? Does it make sense to plug it into that store? So there are several kind of hurdles, I'll call them, that we have to get through. So to say that we would do it in all of our Pennsylvania stores, it would be unlikely. But we are searching and examining the fleet for where it makes sense.
And are these square footage, is that roughly what you're looking at, 50,000 for the store, 3,000 whatever for the particular amenity area?
That's correct.
So roughly in that area?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Commissioner Rothman.
Sorry, I'm back. I have a question as to how many of these, this type of establishment you have within other Giant stores, and if any of them have had to be shut down or altered or switched back to the way it was.
No, so we have 33 beer gardens in Pennsylvania. We operate stores in other states where, Virginia, for example, where we sell beer and wine. But it's different licensing. It's run down an aisle versus a restaurant concept. But we have 33 in Pennsylvania, and we've had no citations.
Thank you.
The only comment I'll make is most states actually allow this as a matter of course. We just have very specific liquor laws in Pennsylvania that make it very difficult to do this.
Any other comments from commissioners? If there are none, I'll take comments from residents. Thank you. Thank you. Sir, name and address for the record. Come to the microphone, yes. Name and address, please.
David Getz, 623 Fox Chase Road. I live within about 2-3 blocks of this location. I'm not sure the commissioners, and I don't know, it's not a question for these people, but a question for you is, I heard the solicitors say, if I'm correct, that we allow a liquor license for every 3,000 people. And if you're familiar, that's the border right there. You have Abington, Rockledge, and Philadelphia all within a mile. And there I can name, starting out with the Brow House, McNally's on Ron Street, the Rockledge Pub, Breen's, Hollywood, the new Rock Hill, and I'm not sure what's going in the China Bowl. They're working on that. That's an awful large concentration of licenses within a small area. Just a comment.
Thank you. Any other comments from residents? Mr. Wrigley? Yes, please. You're asking a question as a resident? Go ahead.
George Wrigley, 900 Burke Avenue in Rockledge. I live very close to that store, and I frequently get there in the evenings, and I have a question on the operation of what they propose to do. That side of the store where they're proposing the restaurant, if you go outside, it's kind of dark. There's a lot of teenagers that live in that area around there. Does the store do anything exterior of the building? I understand you have a lot of people looking at stuff inside the building, but I'm kind of concerned if an adult walks outside, turns right, goes to the dark area, and distributes a six-pack to 6 of his underage kids. So I was just concerned, do they do anything outside with surveillance or televisions or more lighting or something like that?
Okay, he'll answer that.
Yes, we do surveillance outside. I share your concern. I was at the store before I came here. This side is very dark. I did take some notes away on exterior lighting. We do have security cameras that we will install to cover we do have cameras now that cover the parking lot, but we increase that side with the coverage of security cameras, and it's noted that we need to take a look at it's very dark down that side of the building.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions from residents? If there are none, I'll make a motion to close the hearing and call on, seconded? It's been moved and seconded. And at this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Sanchez to read the motion into record, please.
Sure. This is a motion to adopt resolution number 17007, authorizing the Giant Food Store at 737 Huntington Pike to transfer an existing restaurant liquor license number R18487 from outside of Abington Township, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. At this time, we're going to make one other slight deviation in our agenda. I'd like to call on, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Okay, continue, Commissioner Sanchez. We're going to continue with the code enforcement agenda. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. President. Next is CE2, subdivision SD 1608, Patrick J. Deacon, 2823 Old Welsh Road. This is a motion to approve the subdivision application of Patrick J. Deacon, applicant for the property located at 2823 Old Welsh Road. The applicant proposes to subdivide the existing property of 21,250 square feet into 2 lots. Lot number 1 will contain the existing single-family dwelling and consists of 13,750 square feet. Lot number 2 is proposed to be 7,500 square feet. Lot number 2 is proposed to be improved with a new single-family dwelling. The Zoning Hearing Board of the Township of Abington granted a dimensional variance on October 18, 2016, to allow for lot number 1 to have one side yard of 7 feet in depth. The properties are zoned in the R4 Residential District in Ward number 8 of the Township of Abington, and the motion is subject to conditions and waivers as listed in the agenda, and I so move.
Second.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you.
And last, we have CE3, ordinance number 2131, to amend the zoning code, ordinance number 1753 of the Township of Abington, to create use C37 medical marijuana dispensary and use D18 medical marijuana grower/processor with the Township of Abington. And this is a motion to approve the advertisement of ordinance number 2131 and to take action on the following ordinance number 2131 at its regularly scheduled meeting on March 9th, 2017 at 7:30 p.m., and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Mr. President, that concludes the business of the Code Enforcement and Land Development Committee for this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanchez. At this time, prior to Public Works, I'd like to call on Vice President Stephen Klein from the Finance Committee, and we're going to have one agenda item off of the Finance Committee's agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, President Luker. We're going to jump ahead into FC 8, 2017, General Obligation Note Series of 2017, and I would like to call on Jamie Schlesinger of PFM and Liz Preet-Havey of Dilworth Paxson.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Schlesinger from PFM. We are the financial advisor to the township for a number of years. We were asked to solicit local and regional banks for a up to $6.5 million financing to finance a number of capital projects of the township. We are here with an ordinance to discuss and hopefully approve, pending your review. We solicited proposals from over 30 banks throughout the Commonwealth. We received proposals from 8 different banks. Ultimately, we provided some analysis, and I'll try not to bore you with all the analysis, but if you turn to page 2, there's a colored sheet that has a blue and a red area. These would be the proposals we received. We asked the banks to give us fixed rates for the full term, which would be 6.5 years, or either a fixed rate for either 5 years or something in between. All the proposals we asked the banks to provide us either a drawdown loan, meaning the township has the right to utilize these $6.5 million at their discretion for 2 years. If they don't use all those funds, we have the right to reduce the borrowing to a lower amount. In addition, we asked for the ability to prepay it without any penalty. So conceivably, if interest rates are lower, or if you had extra money via grants or other cash, you can reduce the borrowing amount as well. This flexibility provides the township with additional ability to reduce the debt service over the course of the 6.5 years and gives other flexibilities as well. We feel that these are very, very strong proposals. We feel, though, the best proposal came from Republic Bank. That is your local deposit bank, I understand. There are no outside conditions. You'll notice on the right-hand side, on the blue section, some of the banks offered some additional conditions. We felt based on those, they weren't as worthwhile as the Republic Bank proposal. Their proposal is a fixed rate at 2.45%, meaning that's the highest rate you'll pay over the 6.5 years. Again, I believe that's pretty strong. And overall, your debt would not be extended over more than 1 year that you currently have. You have a very short overall debt structure, so that's very, very strong for a township of this size. So our recommendation would be a Republic Bank proposal for 2.45%.
That's a question.
Sure.
And what are the fees associated with it?
Very minor. In comparison to a bond issue, you'd pay underwriter's discount, rating fee. With a bank loan, there are essentially 3 fees: legal fee, financial advisor fee, and a small bank fee. That total fee is shown on page 4.
40 grand?
Yeah, it's a little less than 40 grand.
Were those comparable to the other banks?
Oh, I'm sorry. The bank fee itself is $1,500. That is comparable to the other banks.
Right.
The other fees associated with the soft cost to complete the transaction would be to pay my firm and her firm. But yes, the $1,500 is a reasonable fee. We typically ask them to keep it in a lower amount, considering the documents are going to be prepared by Liz and her firm.
And there's no balance requirement for Republic Bank at all?
Correct.
So we could withdraw our money from there tomorrow?
Correct.
And they would keep the loan outstanding?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we prefer this structure because of the potential needs of the township, and having that flexibility to not use all the funds and/or use all the funds does save you money over the course of time.
I mean, but it's obviously not the lowest rate. I guess TD was offering 2.35, but they required a deposit relationship.
Yeah, there's a couple other things that are associated with that. They require a full draw at settlement. So if you think about it, based on the amount of money you'll spend over the next year or so, you'll save approximately $60,000 to $80,000 of interest, which makes up more than for the little lower interest rate you receive from TD.
And what about QNB? That was...
QNB rate's a little higher.
It's a little higher, except on the variable. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Vice President Klein.
Can you, on the first page of the form of proposal, there's Part 3, which talks about taxable conversion.
Yes.
Can you discuss that and the
Sure.
rate and how that interest rate is?
It's another ability to have some flexibility. We wanted to make sure that over the course of time with regard to the financing itself, if there's ever any change in the taxability of the loan itself, all these loans are considered tax-free under tax code for the purposes you're going to use, but should some of the money be used for something outside of that during the course of time, there's the ability to adjust that portion of the loan to a taxable rate without having to go back and refinance the loan at the time of that conversion.
And
So
it
this
would
actually saves you money in the future if that were to happen.
And that tax rate for that taxable conversion rate, that interest rate would only apply to the portion that needs to be used for a taxable endeavor by the township.
Correct.
Not the whole 6.5 million.
That's correct.
Is that good? Okay.
And that rate would be 3.6%. We've already agreed upon that rate,
Yeah.
assuming you move forward with the 2.45% rate.
Okay. And our current debt rating for the township is?
It's a AA1, which is just under AAA.
So AA1, where does that price today on the market if you were to have a bond issue?
The
of this
bond would be
size?
probably somewhere in the 2% range, so just be a little bit lower. The concept here, of course, is the ability to have those flexibilities that we have here, in addition to lower cost of issuance. Between those two functions, as well as the other things we believe this loan will provide us, supersedes the lower interest rate.
And I guess the fees are probably less in this kind of
Certainly,
situation.
that makes up for it as well. And again, that drawdown ability as well,
You're right.
that's going to save you, close to $60,000, $70,000.
And Kevin, it's your opinion that this is the better way to go than a bond issue?
Correct. Because of some of the features of the borrowing, what we're borrowing for, we might not be drawing it all down right away. So we might do it the end of this year, beginning of next year, so we won't pay the interest on the bond. So if we took a bond of $6.5 million, we'd be paying the interest right away. Yes, a little bit lower, but our fees will probably be double. So in the long run, this is the best way to go.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Commissioner Klein and then Commissioner. Okay, Tom, go ahead.
So the proposal lists two options with respect to the interest rate: the fixed rate at 2.45, or a 5-year fixed at 2.35, and then adjusted thereafter. You're recommending the fixed proposal.
That's correct.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear.
Yeah,
about
it's just
that.
a little less risk
Yeah.
in this case, and it's just, in that case, we felt, why put any risk on the
No,
township?
it makes sense. The difference is
Very
Yeah.
low.
Thank you.
And then I'm looking at the overall debt structure of
Yes.
for the township and under the general fund. I guess, how did, this bond issue was all, there's some of it split out, is that, you have a portion of it split out in the refuse fund?
Correct.
Correct? That's the 1.65 million?
Correct. Part of the $6.5 million, $1.5 million is for refuse to buy new trucks.
Gotcha.
So again, if we order them now, we're not going to pay for them probably to the end of the year, beginning of next year, so we can lower our interest rate on that, interest payment on that.
Okay. And then also, it looks like the debt structure has a lion's share of the amount being paid out in, I guess it's
Toward the end.
2021, 2022, which wraps us around and picks up, equalizes our debt service out, or a little bit less, and
Correct.
leaves us a little room later on.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
It's not exact numbers that were presented at the budget because of the different timing, and the rates have gone up since budget time, but it's almost exact, close enough to the budget numbers, so we're good.
Thank you.
Yeah, as a side note, based on our assumptions here of the draws, we feel that the overall payment you'll make this year is probably somewhere around $20,000, which would be well under your expectation in your budget.
Love that deal.
So if you look at that chart, it says if we borrowed the money now, we'd have to pay approximately $80,000 in general fund, and about $24,000 in refuse. By doing the loan and doing the drawdown, we'll be able to take less interest because we're not using the money right away.
And is there any question as to whether we'll be able to draw the 6.5 in the first 2 years?
No, I don't think so.
What's that?
I don't think so. I think with all the projects, it should be pulled down within.
Okay.
We put the schedule for 3 years, so we should be fine.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I guess
We have to make a
Yeah.
motion, right?
no more
If
questions.
you'd have any questions on the legal side, certainly Liz can answer any of those.
Anybody? Any questions on the legal side? Okay. Well, with that, I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2130 for the purpose of issuing 2017 general obligation note in the amount of $6.5 million to be provided for acquire capital for stormwater improvement in an amount not to exceed $3 million, two township matches and grants, and 3 purchases of refuse vehicles, and 4 the payment of all costs and expenses incurred by the township in connection with the issuance of the 2017 GO note. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners?
On the legal stuff, I assume our solicitor's office has gone through everything with
We
bond
have,
counsel and-
we're provided with all the information, and as part of this, we have to provide an opinion, which which we'll do in this instance. So yes, we've reviewed everything.
Okay, and everything meets with with the
Yep.
standards that we need to follow in the First Township Code?
Yes, the laboring oar on this is always taken by bond counsel, but we ensure that everything is being done consistent with the First Class Township Code, and we are.
Thank you.
Any other comments from commissioners? Good question. Any comments from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I think we'll go back to our scheduled format, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Tom Hecker.
Thank
Director
you.
of Public Works.
Thank you, President Luker. The Public Works Committee has 3 items for consideration this evening. The first is PW1, and this is a motion to accept the lowest responsible bidder and enter into a contract with Delaware Valley Concrete for the purchase of ready-mix concrete as per bid specifications, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Sorry. Commissioner Hecker.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Ed for going through this in great detail at the committee meeting last week. Not having the stuff in front of us, it was very helpful to hear you walk through the different aspects of it, so thank you.
And my apologies for not having it in front of you.
No worries.
Any other comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you. PW2, and this is a motion to accept the lowest responsible bidder and enter into a contract with Eureka Stone Quarry for Part 1 and Part 2 of the bid in the amount of $724,090 for the purchase of super paved materials as per bid specifications, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you. And finally, PW3. This is a motion to adopt Resolution Number 17-011, authorizing the Township of Abington to execute the 2014 to 2017 PA. Project Letter Agreement for the Moreland Road Overlay Project. If manhole castings require adjustment, the potential cost could be $17,391 to be paid from wastewater operating account number 02-10-205-5305, and I so move.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye. And that concludes the Public Works Committee's business this evening.
Thank you for your patience, Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, President.
Commissioner Schreiber, Director of Public Safety, is next.
Thank you very much, President Luker. PS1 is a motion to adopt ordinance number 2134, amending Chapter 156, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Parking Regulations, and Section 26, Parking Prohibited During Certain Hours, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
PS2 is a motion to appoint candidate Nico Bellardo from the Certified Civil Service Eligibility List to the position of probationary police officer, provided he successfully completes the background, physical, and psychological tests and all entry requirements of the Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission for Act 120. Training appointment will be effective February 13th, 2017, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any comments from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
PS3 is a motion to appoint candidate Christopher Petrus from the Certified Civil Service Eligibility List to the position of probationary police officer, provided he successfully completes the background, physical, and psychological tests and all entry requirements of the Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission for Act 120. Training appointment will be effective February 13th, 2017, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
PS4 is a motion to promote Officer Roger Gillespie to the rank of probationary sergeant effective February 20th, 2017, provided he successfully completes the remaining portions of the promotional process, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
PS5 is a motion to promote Officer Drew Kent to the rank of probationary sergeant effective February 20th, 2017, provided he successfully completes the remaining portions of the promotional process, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any comments from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
PS6 is a motion to appoint Thomas McEnany as Emergency Management Coordinator for Abington Township effective immediately, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? There are no questions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
PS7 is a motion to add one alternate member to the Abington Township Civil Service Commission, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
And that concludes our agenda this evening.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Schreiber. Commissioner Spiegelman, Director of Public Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have 7 items tonight. The first is PA1. This is a motion to adopt Resolution Number 17-004, authorizing the filing of an application to PADCED in the amount of $500,000 for the owner-occupied rehabilitation program. No township match is required, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any comments from staff? If there are none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
PA2 is a motion to adopt ordinance number 2135, amending Chapter 137-4 of the Township Code, Snow and Ice Violations and Penalties, increasing the fine per violation up to a maximum of $1,000 per offense, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The
Opposed.
motion passes. I'm sorry?
There's an opposed.
No?
One.
One opposed.
Good? Okay.
All right.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item PA3 is a motion to approve acceptance of the $40,000 DCNR C2P2, its Community Conservation Partnership Program Development Grant for improvements to the Ardsley Wildlife Sanctuary, guided by the Ardsley Wildlife Sanctuary Land Management Plan and the Abington Township MS4 program, with the Abington Township match of $20,000 derived from the 2017-2018 MS4 budget, and I so move.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any comments from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Item PA4 is a motion to approve M&M Lawn Care East in zones number 2 and number 4, and Gorcon Incorporated in zones number 1 and number 3 as the lowest responsible bidders for the mowing contract for the years 2017, 2018, and 2019. The total for this contract will be $83,327 per year for the years noted above, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Item PA5 was a discussion item and has been deleted. Item PA6 is a motion to approve the contract assumption agreement between KMS Design and Alta, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Comments from commissioners? Comments from staff? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Our final item, PA7, is a motion to reappoint for 2017 Stephen P. Imes, Jr., Esquire, as the Abington Township Hearing Officer for Act 511 tax appeals, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any comments from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Mr. President, that concludes the business of the Public Affairs Committee.
Thank you, Commissioner Spiegelman. Commissioner Vice President Klein, Director of Finance.
Thank you, President Luker. I'd like to call on Jay Blumenthal for the Township Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Commissioner Klein. Good evening, everyone. I only have one report this evening, and that is the amounts of monies deposited into Republic Bank for the month of January. And the month and the year-to-date are the same, of course, because it's the first month of the year. Total deposits were $1,149,181 compared to last year of $1,222,189, with a decrease of $73,008. That's my report on that. I do want to make one comment, though. The Township County real estate tax bills were mailed out on the 6th of February, just earlier this week. Some of you may have received them, some may have not. There are two inserts in there this year. One is from the County of Montgomery County describing the new tax, which is a separate line item now on the tax bill. It's for the Montgomery County Community College, and it is roughly $60 on average per household in Abington Township. It was roughly 11% increase over the county's regular millage rate of 3.459, and it's earmarked strictly for the Montgomery County Community College. There is a separate letter in there explaining that. There's also another notice that came out of the Code Enforcement dealing with the new zoning rewrite. Stephen, am I correct?
Yep.
And that is my report. If anybody has any questions on this Montgomery County thing, they're welcome to give me a ring tomorrow or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Blumenthal. I wanted to thank the tax office for inserting that notice about the zoning ordinance public hearing. With that, we'll start our agenda. FC1, motion to approve investments for the month of December as previously circulated to the board. It was noted that investments for the month totaled $4,208,000. Interest rate yields ranged from 0.9% to 1.3%, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any comments from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
FC2, motion to A, approve the December expenditures as previously circulated to the board in the amount of $3,321,213.11, and salaries and wages in the amount of $2,082,258.96, and B, authorize the proper officials to sign vouchers in payment of bills and contracts as they mature through the month of March 2017, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Sakone?
Yes.
Spiegelman?
Aye, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Rolfman?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Markman?
Yes.
Schreiber? Yes. Bennett?
Yes.
Lucido?
Yes.
Barron?
Yes.
Gillespie?
Yes.
Hecker?
Yes.
Kalinowski.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Yes.
FC3, motion to approve the advance in travel expense activity for December 2016 as previously circulated to the board. Advance in travel expense reports were $0 and $839.22 respectively. 12-month expense totaled $41,688.83, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners, from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
FC4, motion to approve the clearing fund, the deferred revenue expense activity, and petty cash balances for the month of December as previously circulated to the board. Clearing fund receipts and disbursements for the month of December 2016 were $3,719.16 and $3,432.93 respectively. Deferred revenue expense receipts and disbursements for the month of December 2016 were $29,948 and $13,599.50 respectively, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Comments from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
FC5, motion to authorize the transfer of $27,139 from 2016 contingency expense account number 0101-002-5299 to Fire Company's account number 0115-091-5236, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Comments from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
President Luker, I'd like to pass FC6 along to Commissioner Hecker.
Yes. Yes. FC6, this is a motion to appropriate $50,000 from the fund balance for legal fees, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Commissioner Klein.
President Luker, I'll be recusing myself on this agenda item.
Okay, any other comments from commissioners? Commissioner Zafone.
What is this?
I'm sorry.
What's this for, this
Okay.
$50,000?
Okay.
It's for legal fees for the rest of the year for Colonnade from the last time we approved money. And other little minor expenses for leaning fees and stuff like that.
Well, and a significant number for the police arbitration expense too, right, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, the total of the legal fees being over for the whole year, we asked for some money early in the year were due to the arbitration for the police and for the other projects.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
FC7, motion to authorize the transfer of $9,414 from 2016 contingency expense account number 0101-002-5299 for 511 tax commissions, and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
And FC8 we took care of earlier. FC9, motion to ratify the approval of the Willow Grove Mall tax assessment appeal settlement as agreed by all parties in the Common Pleas Court matter, and I so move.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Any comments from commissioners?
Yeah, I guess I had a different engagement for the committee meeting, and can you go through the numbers real quick on the settlement?
Yeah, this is an item we added to the agenda. This is a tax appeal instituted by the taxing authorities, the school district and the township, of a 2004 assessment appeal that Willow Grove was granted, lowering their assessment. Although it was appealed back in 2004, it wasn't scheduled to trial this year. Common Pleas Court has become much more aggressive this year in moving some of these cases forward in a timely manner. The matter was scheduled for a trial to begin last week. The judge met with all parties, and they reached terms of settlement of the matter. The judge would not allow us a 30-day extension for us to come back to the board, so we had to indicate an informal indication that we were inclined to settle, and that's why the board was polled. Tonight, we're ratifying that approval. And as a result of the appeal, the township will receive an additional $222,000 a year in real estate taxes annually moving forward. We'll also receive a one-time payment this year of over $327,000, plus an additional $145,000 annually for the next 10 years as a catch-up provision.
The mall also agreed not to appeal their assessment at least through 2020.
Okay, so getting back, the assessed value prior to the appeal was of the mall?
I don't have a number on top of me, but I certainly can get it.
Do we know what we're agreeing to as far as the assessed value? I mean, what's
Yeah,
the-
we do. It is in the stipulation. I can pull it out.
Yeah, if you can just pull it out. I just want to understand what the value is.
Actually, I don't have it. I'll have to get it to you.
And this was discussed in the committee meeting, or no?
No, it was not. This came up, it was actually scheduled for trial. Negotiations have been going on for a couple months, but it wasn't until the actual day of the trial that the parties finally came to terms on the settlement.
So we basically get 327, an extra 222 per year, plus a 145 per year catch-up provision?
For 10 years.
And do we know the school portion? What are the schools
School
getting?
portion is probably 8 times what we're receiving.
So they're going to get like 1.6 million per year additional in taxes for the schools?
That's correct.
So out of like a $148 million budget is probably worth a point to them. The only thing I'm concerned about is we're going to agree to it. I just really want to understand, what the value we're agreeing to as far as, it's great that we're getting more money, but I just want to understand the value as it's assessed towards the market value of the mall.
I have it here, Commissioner Markman, it's settled at a 2017 market value of $163,800,000.
So we're at $163 million. Because I had anecdotally heard from some people that essentially at a market value, we agreed a little, it's worth probably $190 million, and we're agreeing to $163 as a settlement, which I think is
I think there was, I don't want to speak for but I think there was some increase from the back years in dispute, too.
The
that
issue,
sort of-
the exposure the township had, there's litigation pending in the appellate court in the state level that was raised in Lower Merion, challenging the taxing authorities' ability to institute an appeal. And for that reason, the mall had allowed this to continue because it was their best interest to hopefully get a favorable ruling in the appellate court, which would have knocked this appeal out completely and we wouldn't have gotten any increase. So for that reason, it was in our best interest maybe to
No, I think it's
to acquire what we could.
It's probably a reasonable settlement. I think it's great for the schools and good for us. And truthfully, the mall is kind of the golden goose that we don't want to, we want to be reasonable with because it is such a huge part of our tax structure here.
Exactly. And that's something Kevin and I discussed and
I mean,
discussed it with Wayne as well.
just so we all know, what percent of our budget are the taxes generated from the mall on total? What's our total tax bill to the mall right now when it comes to the township?
I don't have that with my
No.
We can get it for you, though.
It's gotta be
Between business taxes and real estate.
I'm just trying to, business taxes. Between business and real estate, I got to believe it's got to be probably a double-digit percentage.
And earned income.
And earned income, yeah.
LST tax.
Yeah, I asked Michael the same line of questioning, and I didn't want this to cripple the mall as a result of this.
I agree. And just going forward as the board, the mall's really important to this township as far as, ratables, because obviously one of my big things is we're trying to create more ratables outside, and we have a lot of nonprofits in the hospital and Penn State, and, for us, it's just a huge portion of the township as far as generating taxes that doesn't fall on the residents. So, in my mind, it's something that we've got to just, be careful with and make sure we treat it the right way. But sounds like it's a reasonable settlement to me.
And Commissioner Markman, I beg your pardon, but the solicitor brought my attention that there was an inconsistency between the email and the actual stipulation and go ahead.
The actual
Mr. Clark.
stipulation lists the 2017 fair market value as $180 million.
Not 190, which is what I said. So
It's 180 is the fair market value. The assessment is $100,980,000. That's based on the common level ratio of 56.1%.
190, okay.
Commissioner Mark, remember now, I don't think we're including the anchor stores that are owned by these individual companies, are we?
I think this is just whoever.
That's just the mall. So
it's just the mall, it doesn't include the anchor stores.
So we have certain stores that are owned separately out of it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. All right, any other questions? Let me see, this is FC9. Okay, all those in favor?
Can I just wait? So it's a recommendation of staff that we approve this settlement. Just want to make sure that's on the record.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions of commissioners? Any from staff? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
That concludes the Finance Committee's agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Klein. That concludes our formal agenda. At this point, I'll ask for comments from residents. Any comments from the public?
Laura Lehman, 1431 Bryant Lane. So yesterday was 11 years since I read that they were going to put entertainment on the channel.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Ms. Lehman.
I'm sorry?
I can't hear you.
I said yesterday was 11 years that I read in the Times Chronicle that they were going to put entertainment on the channel. And I said, oh, we didn't want that. Many of us had been voicing for years that we wanted to have our meetings. So we've had them for these 11 years, and we worked almost all the 11 years for the speaking rights, and it was not okay to take them away. You have 28 items on the agenda. That's 6.4 seconds that somebody could speak in that 3-minute time on each item. But nobody wants to speak on all 28, but there are, well, maybe I do. But there are in 3 minutes, if you want to speak about 3 things. That's 1 minute and not enough time to adequately express anything. In addition, by putting it before and after and not during the item, you don't get to hear what's said during the item and then comment. You have us comment before we hear what your discussion before the final vote is. And that is something we worked ourselves silly for, and very much what the Trump team is doing now, things that people worked years for and gave up all their free time to get in place are being
keep
taken
your
away.
Comments
yes, I
reserved to
can,
council,
and
please?
if you don't interrupt them, they'll go quicker too. Okay, the seconds that it takes to hear these things is so important. There's no way for us to change them unless you start taking your time to listen. And I'm saying 3 minutes isn't enough. Last time you said something, last time or the time before, there was a discussion about showcasing businesses. I'd like to say that's not a good idea. One of the tenets that we put in place when we did this channel was that there were not to be businesses, there was not to be advertising, and if you showcase businesses, it will single out certain ones. We have, however, been wanting to have a list of the businesses that are new to the township. So if you could get those in an even list where everybody new gets listed, and at some point, if you list businesses, you list all the businesses, not just some. Okay? The other thing, and it's not okay for businesses to be taking time at our public meetings when residents are cut off on important safety issues and other things. We had recently 5 people maligned me and said things that were completely untrue while I tried to get the tax collector's stuff. Mr. Lefevre, did you bring the document today? I understand that you have.
Just address the chair.
Could you ask Mr. Lefevre if he brought the document today? I did a right to know. You had a document. He said my question was unintelligible. I gave him the actual wording from the document. And since then, I've understood that he does have that document. He was given that document last Thursday, and he still is refusing to give it. So I'm asking whether he'll give it tonight.
Mr. Lefevre, do you want to comment?
No.
Can I ask why he's not going to give it?
I think no means no.
No means no. I'm asking to understand why I'm not going to get a document that was part of a right to know. This is the kind of communication that has people out in the streets because they have no access to their government.
President Luker, I clearly answered Ms. Lehman's question
Yes, he said no.
repeatedly in email and also by formal letter. She refuses to accept the answer.
That is untrue, and that is slander.
Over and over again.
That is untrue.
Ms. Lehman?
There needs to be some truth in this room, okay? And if I didn't understand, the proper thing to do would be to re-explain it. But I'll show you the emails. There is no way that it was explained. He simply said first it was unintelligible, then he said the matter is closed. If there's a reason I'm not getting the document that he got Thursday, I want to know what that is.
Ms. Lehman?
Yes.
Move on. I'm going to give you another minute.
May I ask him, please, what that reason is?
No. This
You
is not-
should want to know at this point, Commissioner
This is
Luker.
not a debate. He gave you an answer. Move on, please. Thank you.
Okay, there's so many things that are wrong in this township. The vacant property minutes were not even vaguely correct. They listed a few things. The vacant property issue is that in the Code Enforcement Department, these properties that people are considering taking with taxpayer money is going to fund the taking of this, and it's going to go to somebody else, a friend surely, of those that are in control. But the issue here is that I asked whether these particular properties had received their citations for the problems that they had, and the answer repeatedly is no. We have properties that for 10 years have been blighted, but they've received no code enforcement citations and court dates, and that's what's causing the problem. That needs to be changed, and that didn't even show up in the minutes, that exchange. Okay? Finance meetings, pension board meetings, and others still need to be put on. The brownouts on the road, I thank those who responded to me, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to work for them so that this year the pesticides don't go up and down the state roads. The solicitors, I thank Chief Kelly, Chief Livingood has said he will work with me on this a bit, but I'd like to appeal right now to all of you to require the solicitors to wear their permits around their neck, both sides, so it can't be turned over backwards. Nearly every solicitor is illegal. All you have to do is say, you're required to wear your permit around your neck, and residents will begin to know a permit's required. They'll begin to know who's legal and who's not, and they'll be able to see a large name and know who the company and who the solicitor was. It's a simple thing. I cannot understand why I'd be up here 20 times asking for that when people are in danger with unknown people coming to their doors, okay? Especially people who know the law and they're ready to run when you ask them for their permit. These are not honorable people in our neighborhoods. Mr. Blumenthal said something about the zoning rewrites. I hope that would be explained. And the Valley Road fence, I'm trying to understand if that property had borderline in the middle of the street. There must be lots of others who did. Perhaps Mr. Clark could explain, when I sit down, what he found out when he went back and looked at his records so that all of us can know. There was something he thought was in his records that wasn't as simple as the line being in the middle of the street. Thank you.
I think you had ample time to express all your concerns. Thank you very much. Any other comments?
Mr. President.
Are there any other comments from residents?
Mr. President, I apologize. I will keep this brief, but I need to correct and clarify something that the speaker just referenced regarding Vacant Property Review Board. We had an extensive discussion at Vacant Property Review Board about the speaker's question regarding properties that are basically long-term property maintenance scofflaws. They're properties that everyone knows have been in miserable condition for a long time. And Property Maintenance Officer Littlefield and I both answered this question, explaining that there are in fact properties that for a long time they've received citations, they've received letters, and then maybe just before the court date they'll do the bare minimum to get up to the property maintenance code. Doesn't mean they look beautiful. Everyone agrees they still sort of look miserable. That is the whole reason that the vacancy ordinance was passed and the Vacant Property Review Board was created to basically create a new mechanism, a new tool for the Code Enforcement Department and our board to go after these properties. I thought that this was explained clearly, but there were no lies and omissions, and I'm sorry, I have to clarify that on behalf of the board.
That discussion did not appear, and that is not the correct way. That's not the correct way that it went. Okay?
This is not a debate.
But you won't allow the truth to happen here.
Sit down.
Okay.
Thank
It's
you.
up to you, Commissioner
Please.
Luker, to allow the truth to happen in
Please
this
sit
room.
down, Ms. Lehman. Thank you. Commissioner Spiegelman,
Thank you, President Luker, for that opportunity.
All right. Any other comments from residents?
Can I make one comment about Valley Road?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just as it was mentioned about Valley Road, the solicitor's office sent out a confidential memo to the Board of Commissioners explaining the facts and the conditions that occurred on the Valley Road project, and that has been, as the solicitor said last week, he did give that information from their files and from the chronology of what happened.
And we'd like to understand.
Mr. Lehman, thank you very much, Commissioner Klein. At this time, if there are no more comments from the public, I'd like closing comments from Commissioners. Commissioner Bowman.
Just congratulations to Roger Gillespie, longtime officer, moving up to sergeant, and also to Officer Drew Kent. Same. Congratulations to both of them. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Commissioner DePlacido.
Thank you, Commissioner Luker. I just want to thank Ed. Ward 4 looked great after about 11 o'clock. Thank you very much. Please pass along Ward 4's thanks to your team for us, please. Doug, congratulations. You won't get to hear from me this softball season, so you're going to miss me, aren't you? See back there? Okay. Hi, Commissioner DePlacido, Chairman of the Softball League for East Abington. We'll be in touch. All right. And we'll make it brief. And when driving through Abington Township, please drive like your kids live here.
Thank you. Commissioner Farron.
Thank you, President Luker. I'd like to echo my fellow commissioners. Thank you, Ed, for the great work today. It didn't even look like it snowed. Congratulations, Doug. I'm envious. I'm very jealous. I'm looking forward to my retirement date 30 years from now. So congratulations. Enjoy it. Just a couple of things tonight. The St. Joseph Protector Penny Party is coming up February 24th, and you have the option. The grand prize this year is a $3,500 travel voucher, which is very exciting. Copper Beach is having their 5K again this year on March 11th, and you know my affinity for 5Ks, so I encourage you all to come out. The Kevin from Heaven Foundation is having their 7th annual night at the ballpark to go watch a Phillies game and support that foundation, which generally supports education, and that is happening May 5th. And finally, the Just Fight Foundation just is doing very, very good work. Allie's coming along very well, if anybody's following her on Facebook. It's amazing the progress she's making, and very optimistic for the future. And I want to thank Commissioner DePlacido. We've been talking about some state legislation that's going to be happening that the Just Fight Foundation is working on and supporting. And Commissioner DePlacido with the Red Cross is helping and supporting that as well. And it's just encouraging to see what happens when we all come together to support such a good cause. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gillespie.
Thank you. I just wanted to congratulate Chief Livingood, who I've known for many, many years, and I'm so happy. He's a great guy. And Ed, thank you. And congrats to all the people. Doug, great job. And Charlie Rohr, wonderful man, too. And April 8th. Are you ready for this? April 8th is the run for, I have to start now. April 8th is the run for the 4th of July parade. We'll talk more next month.
Thank you. Commissioner Hecker.
Thank you, President Luker. Just a few brief comments. Doug, congratulations, and thanks for all of your efforts over the last few years. I know he's not here, but also wanted to say congratulations to Chief Livingood. I thought Judge Furman's comments about him were pretty apt. In my 3 years on the board, my interactions with the chief, he demonstrates a humility, a respect for the work, and an affection for this community that comes through in everything he does. And I think it's just a palatable demonstration of what's good about this community. So I know I look forward to working with him in the year ahead. And Ed, if I'm correct, our first Anything with a Plug recycling event is coming up later this month, at February 25th.
That is correct.
Yep, so 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Township Yard on Flory Lane. Bring your broken electronic appliances, and TVs are also accepted, but there is a fee, and there is information on the Township website. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kolonowski.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I guess there's a lot of things. Congratulations to everybody tonight. I get involved in a lot of community events and things, so I just want to say, if you want to look on North Penn VFW, we got a new website. I'm not bragging, but it looks pretty cool, and it tells you a lot of events that are going on. 24-hour relay, we've started our meetings again for that, for CAP, and we do a lot of great work with that. So if anybody's interested in volunteering, contact me, or I'm the chairman this year, so there again. And happy Valentine's Day to my Valentine. Thank you.
Commissioner Klein.
Thank you, President Luker. I just wanted to say happy retirement, Doug, and thanks for all your work on the parks and issues within my ward. I really appreciate all the work and the stuff that you coordinated, especially with Jackson Park. It's been one of our projects. And I also wanted to say I'm delighted to have a man of Chief Living Good's ethics and integrity leading our police department. I look forward to working with him in the next year or so. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Zappone.
No comment at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Spiegelman.
Thank you, Mr. President. There is a very special event happening in Ward 11 this weekend. This coming Saturday, which is the 11th, there's a blessing bag party that is sponsored by a local group called AIM, Angels in Motion, that reaches out to and helps folks, particularly folks who are homeless, but folks in general who are dealing with the horrible affliction of addiction, especially the opioid addiction crisis. And there's working on a very special event, working with the police department, working with CAPT, to hosting this blessing bag party. Blessing bag party is where folks come and they contribute small, non-perishable, portable food items and hygiene items. There's a whole list that they have available, and these are put into little care packages along with encouraging notes, and they're given out to homeless folks, particularly those afflicted by the scourge of addiction, in places like Kensington. And they've had a couple of these, and this is the first one where AIM and the police department are cooperating. It's really going to be an amazing event. As I said, it's going to be at the Police Training Center, 2200 Flory Lane. It's this Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. You can find information about it and what you can contribute and how you can volunteer. The information's in my newsletter, Commissioner DiPlacido's newsletter. It's it's all over Facebook. Just look for AIM, Angels in Motion. And then finally, congratulations, Doug. It's been great working with you. You are a class act. And I want to thank you personally for everything you've done for me and all the folks in Ward 11. Again, I can't say it better than everyone else has about Chief Livingood. It really is an honor to have him as our 10th chief. And congratulations also to my friend Roger Gillespie, a well-deserved promotion. Thanks so much, and happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Wanted to echo the sentiments on our retirees, Mr. Rohr, and of course Doug. Doug, you and I have a long history dating back to, I think, when I was a park attendant and you were at some supervisor level there. So thank you for your many, many years of service and dedication. And of course to Chief Livingood on his promotion, the other promotions, and wanted to give a thanks to our Animal Control Officer, Ron Griffith. If you could pass that along, Deputy Chief. He handled something with the usual deft and professionalism this week, and I really appreciate it. So thank you all.
Thank you. Commissioner Rothman.
Thank you, President Luker. March 12th, the morning of March 12th will be the McKinley's Fire Station annual pancake breakfast. Please mark your calendars down and come help support the volunteers at a great fire station. I know Commissioner DiPlacido and I will be there, probably Commissioner Sanchez and her family, so come on out. And I just want to thank Doug for his work in the township and share the sentiments that have been echoed as to working with Chief Livingood. I'm really happy that he's going to be in that position for the next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Myers.
Thank you. Doug, thanks so much for all of your years of service, and especially, and I hope this continues, that your position on PAL, you've really made a difference to the organization. So thank you so much. Also, although he's not here, to Charlie Rohr, I had the honor of working with Charlie during a very difficult time in Abington Township in our fire service. And Charlie was one of the leaders, a fire chief at the time, and one of the leaders that really made a difference and helped build the 5 fire companies into what we now have as an accredited fire department. And we should all thank Charlie for his participation in that. And I'm going to thank Chief Livingood and congratulate him in person. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Markman.
I want to congratulate Doug. Thank you for your service for all these years. I think they say, they put you out to pasture, but I think you're coming in from the pasture, being in the Parks and Rec Department. So, no, thanks a lot, and great park system, and you've done a good job. And then Chief Livingood, I just want to congratulate him, and it's, I think, a well-deserved promotion, and I'm really excited to work with him. He's a great man, and I think he'll do a great job. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Schreiber.
Goodbye, Doug. We'll miss you. Good job. Congratulations to all the people with their promotions, and the retirees. Goodbye to both. I just want to add something to the Angels in Motion that Commissioner Spiegelman was talking about. Two things. One is, in addition to it being a partnership between Angels in Motion and our police department, it's also being sponsored or underwritten, I guess you could say, by both CAPT and Abington Memorial Hospital. So I want to give a shout out to them for that. And I know we mentioned, or you mentioned, the times being from 1 to 3. If you've ever been to a blessing bag party, they move really fast. So if you get there close to 3, it's going to be over. So try, if you're interested and it's a really worthy cause, I will be there, and I know some of the other commissioners will be there, but get there on the early side.
And bring Pop-Tarts.
And no, the Pop-Tarts are being underwritten, so other snacks are welcome, and hygiene items as well. And again, the list is on their Facebook page, Angels in Motion. Thank you.
Thank you. And in closing, Doug, thank you, sir. Spent a lot of years together. You've been through a lot, and I think you did your utmost to satisfy all 15 commissioners the last couple of years to put in place a legacy to pass on to Andy. Your own big guy sitting in the back there. And also to Charlie. I never spoke that much with Charlie, but he was always behind the scenes working on things. But lastly, and also to the police officers, Drew Kent and Sergeant Gillespie. But there's two young men sitting in the audience who have been very attentive and very quiet. And I just wanted to make mention, I don't know the two gentlemen, but to their parents, they deserve a lot of credit. They were very well-mannered, and I thank them for their cooperation tonight, watching grown-ups perform. So with that, if there are no other comments, thank you all for attending, and have a good evening.